You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here's your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
I'm Sarah Honegger.
And I'm Christy Landwehr, and you're listening to this special monthly National Reining Horse Association episode of Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for the September 12th, 2024. Good morning, Horse World.
It's the second Thursday of the month. That means it's time to slide in to the National Reining Horse Association episode of Horses in the Morning.
Well, I am so excited to be here today as a co-host with you, Sarah. We have the most exciting show. We're going to talk about creatively promoting the equine industry. And we're going to do that from the World Youth Reining Cup that just took place all the way to what happens at our NRHA Markel Sales at our Futurity. And listen in to hear, we want everyone to understand the fundraise that reining is promoting, not just reining, but the whole equine industry. So excited to do this show with you today, Sarah.
Christy, this is such a fun time to be involved in the horse industry, the reining industry as a whole. The Run for a Million just finished up in Las Vegas a few weeks ago. And oh my gosh, the energy there seemed incredible.
Yes, it is such a fun event. And for those that haven't been before, it happens every August at the South Point Hotel in Vegas. And it is electric and it's great. They're also now branching out beyond reining. They do cutting things there and rein cow things. And it's basically a Western performance showcase.
It is. And we have to give such a big congratulations to Jason Van Landingham. He won it this year, which makes him the first back-to-back champion of the Run for a Million. And some insider knowledge that if you don't follow reining closely, that I think is really special about this win, other than the massive win itself, is this made Jason a $4 million rider. It made Gonna Trash Ya reach a new $1 million milestone as a sire because he rode a horse called Gonna Be a Big Time. And that horse is owned by Tammy, and she is now a $1 million owner. So there's so many milestones. Luca Fapani became a $1 million rider as well at this event. So, it just shows that not only is it a fun event for a spectator, but it's really changing so many people's lives that participate in the event and so much further past just that rider and just that horse in the pen.
Very much so. And it is a fan experience. It's very, very fun to go and to kind of be there as a fan. But you know what else I love about our reining, Sarah, is that we're not just about those at the top. We're also about those just starting in reining. Mm-hmm. So let's dive a little bit into now what we call our ARC. So this is our official affiliate regional championships, and they are taking place all around not only the U.S., but the world right now as we speak. And they are so exciting. It's for anybody who really is wanting to be a part of reining, whether you're a youth, whether you're in our prime time, our masters, or even our legends program, all the things. Mm-hmm. So let's chat a little bit more about those.
Yes, you're exactly right. They're happening across North America as we speak. We had Europe's earlier this year. We have one in Australia coming up in October. But right now, the 10 across North America are currently underway. We've already have the East Central, South Central, Eastern Canada, Western Canada, and the Southeast is currently happening as we're on this podcast. So it's such a great experience for people to compete locally for huge titles. And then this also qualifies them for the Equine North American Affiliate Regional Championships. And those are held in conjunction with the Futurity. And we have our Rookie of the Year program there. So just huge titles, huge prizes, like big money, saddles. So whether you want to go to the ARC and your goal is to get that championship title in a region that you have easy access to, or you have the additional goal of then coming to Oklahoma City, we're just so proud to get to see everyone's journey and excited to see which champions come across the pages of the Reiner and social media. And it's just fun to get to see the journey.
It really is. And what's so neat about this year is the 20th anniversary of the event.
It is. And it's so much fun. You and I talk all the time we love our Futurity, don't get me wrong, but gosh, it's so fun to be in that Adequan pen And to your point earlier, seeing riders of all ages, we even have a short stirrup class over there. It's not for the NAAC title, but we do host it in conjunction with that event. And so you get to see 10 and under kids on just the best horses you've ever seen. And it's really, really fun. So I encourage anyone coming locally who's going to see the Futurity, make sure you have time to go watch that arena as well, because it's really special.
And we're going to do more, obviously, in our October and our November show. But just so you know, the Futurity starts on November the 26th of this year and goes until December 7th. So put it on your calendars to come to the fairgrounds in Oklahoma City for that.
Absolutely. Well, and Christy, talking about just the rise in the equine industry and how much fun everything's been to watch, were you glued to the Olympics like I was?
The Olympics was great. And what I'm thinking about is, oh my gosh, so back in the day when I was 13, I'm aging myself a bit now, but the 1984 Olympics were held in Los Angeles, and I lived there at the time. The torch runner running the torch to the Coliseum came by my house.
Oh my gosh.
I got to take a photo with him and my girlfriend who had spent the night that night.
Oh my gosh. Do we have this photo to put up on social? Because we need to see it. The people need to see it.
We actually do. My hair is really large, but yes, we do. We do have that photo. But
oh my gosh, I love it.
In 2028, it's going to be back in Los Angeles. And of course, I thought, well, why are they having it again? They already had it. Oh yeah, wait, that might have been a minute ago.
It's their turn again, I guess.
Oh my gosh. So yes, I thought the Olympics were so great. And this is what is so exciting. You can kind of do a little precursor about what's going to happen with one of our guests today. What's happening why did we bring the Olympics up during host chat, Sarah?
So funny. Well, so I'm sure anyone listening to this podcast, we're all horse girls or horse guys at heart. And you all have probably seen Snoop and Kevin Hart, and they, commentate the equestrian events. It went viral at the last Olympics. It went viral at this Olympics. And so one of our guests on today's chat has an interesting request for Snoop, and it's kind of gaining some traction. So we thought we'd help the cause a little bit.
I can't wait. We are so excited to have our guest on the show who is going to share all kinds of things with us. Ava Bush is from Meade, Washington, and has had more than $18,000 in NRHA lifetime earnings. She is a past NRHYA delegate and currently competes on the Oklahoma State University equestrian team. She just went to Avare, Brazil to compete in the World Youth Reining Cup to represent the United States and earned the Reserve Championship. Congratulations, Ava, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So we know that your road to get to Brazil made it even sweeter. Can you talk a little bit about how it was the perfect timing for you?
Yeah, so, the first year that it was put on, I applied, and unfortunately I wasn't able to make it work to make it down to Brazil, but it ended up working out because I was able to get some experience with the OSU equestrian team. I just completed my freshman year and now I'm a sophomore there, and it just made the experience so much better because I was so much better prepared for it.
Well, that you were such a seasoned pro, and I was lucky enough to get to be there and watch the event in person. And I saw firsthand just how incredibly generous the Brazilians were, both as hosts with, barbecues and making everyone feel part of the community, but also with the horses they donated. I mean, we watched past Futurity champions. We watched horses that are at the peak of their career. I mean, the generosity shown by them was incredible. Can you talk a little bit about your horse Brown and your run and kind of the preparation for the event?
Yeah, I definitely second that all the Brazilians were so generous and the horses were amazing. Specifically, I got the chance to work with Evandro down there. He is the trainer for the horse that I rode, Brown Sugar Dunnett, and they call her Brown, and she's a 6-year-old mare. And we took our draw on Monday, and I got the opportunity to ride her Monday night. And I just kind of took it one ride at a time and was able to get to know her the first few days and then really start to get into preparation mode and learn where I could push her and learn where I needed to back off a little bit. And the trainers were so helpful and the people were so nice. And I think it just made it that much sweeter, like the event and the preparation for it.
I mean, it really showed. You just looked like you really loved Brown. I mean, the photos of you petting her, you guys going into the pen together, it certainly didn't look like you only knew her for a couple days. And I mean, you really built a strong connection with her and the people.
Yeah, I love Brown. I said if I could take her home, I would.
I love that. So, Ava, what was it like to have the opportunity to compete at a world championship as a youth member? And what was, do you think, your favorite part and your biggest takeaway of the whole thing?
It was such an amazing opportunity. So thank you, NRHA, for that. But especially being a youth member, and it's my last year as a youth, it was kind of like icing on the cake to be able to go down there and do that. And then also just get to meet the other youth members across the world. It kind of taught me that it was reining is a large event in the world. It's not just something that's really big in the United States. And so I think that was probably my biggest takeaway. But my favorite part was just getting to meet everybody and getting to do what I love, which is ride horses and get to make some new connections and meet new people.
Well, and your leadership showed in and out of the show pen as well. For those listening, we should have mentioned this earlier too, but Ava was a Northwest region delegate years and years ago. So it was kind of cool too to see you, Ava, be really involved in that leadership and then, focus on being in college and then kind of coming back to NRHA even stronger too. It was really fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely, I was able to use my NRHA delegate skills that I learned in those past years and get to apply them in this year. So.
Well, speaking of applying those skills, earlier Christy mentioned you compete on the OSU equestrian team. And we kind of teased this a little earlier in the intro of the podcast and kind of our host chat. But after the Olympics, your team has kind of gone on a crazy, wild traction with some social media regarding a post-Olympics request. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about this?
Yeah, so some upperclassmen, they're seniors, got on the bus on our first day and was like, hey, we want to get Snoop Dogg here to OSU Equestrian because he loves the Olympics. Like, he loves the equestrian in the Olympics. Like he said, it's his favorite sport. He loves seeing the horses dance. Like, why not? We have nothing to lose. And so it kind of all started with that bus ride and that first video. And it's grown since then. We got invited over to President Dr. Schrumm's house, and we did a TikTok video over there for that. And they got Mike Gundy in on it. Phoebe and Lauren are both communications majors, and so they've been able to use what they learn in class also and apply it in real life, which is very unique for them, but also really fun for the whole team.
It's been hilarious. You guys have had football players on the teams. You mentioned the coach. I mean, it was on the Oklahoma City News the other day, and I watched it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're getting everybody.
I love it. I hope he says yes.
Me too.
So this is way past just asking a celebrity, I think, because it also is showing a movement towards women's sports, which is great, and equestrian as well. So what is it like to be part of a big movement like this?
I think it's such a opportunity to push women's sports, and especially like the NCEA equestrian, because it's just getting bigger and bigger. I mean, you see more women trainers, you see in the NCEA a lot more sponsors and some more traction there and more girls wanting to join teams. And so I think, if we are able to get Snoop Dogg out here, or should I say when we get Snoop Dogg out here, it'll just put it on a larger stage.
Good for you.
And demonstrate the sport. Like, you don't see reining in the Olympics, and we also have horsemanship in the NCEA. And so you get to see those sides, which you don't see in the Olympics and a lot of the public doesn't see.
Well, Ava, we are so on board with this, and I hope everyone listening to this podcast today will help get on this bandwagon and visit OSU Equestrian. They have, what's the best way to reach you, Ava? I know there's Instagram.
Yeah, they have an Instagram, a Facebook. You can look them up on the internet. There's all sorts of ways.
Okay. Well, I encourage everyone listening, the best way to get traction on this stuff is to go ahead and share it. So go and visit and share it, because I'm sure when Snoop Dogg visits one meet, he'll have to go to others, right? I mean, there's no way he could stop at just
one. Oh, for
sure.
Yeah.
Well, Ava, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations again on your success in Brazil. It's been so fun to watch your journey in reining, and we just really appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Ava is just such a strong competitor. She's clearly such a leader, but what I really loved that she said was she brought up Snoop Dogg being at their event, but then she also brought up how it isn't even just reining. There's horsemanship and it's about women's sports. And I think how cool for young people to just be so aware that what they are doing is impacting so many communities outside of just NRHA.
I completely agree. She was very all-inclusive in her statements. And, I think a lot of times young people especially are thought to be more kind of egocentric and it's all about them. And that is not necessarily the case at all. And especially not here. I think it's going to be wonderful. And boy, do I hope it happens. And maybe there's a meet going on like while Futurity's going on and he can come see us too as a secondary thing. But, at least.
I would love it. And you know what? I can't wait for our commissioner, Billy Smith, to hear this episode as well. He was at the championship in Avaré, Brazil with Ava, and we did the parade of teams and countries. And so she's about to walk in with her flag, and it was big and exciting. And, for the youth around the world to meet the commissioner of NRHA was so fun. And she goes to, he has his fist out to fist bump everybody. And she goes to do it, and she slides his hand under his fist and makes it into a snail. I don't know if anyone can tell what I'm talking about without me visually showing it, but you deny someone's fist bump and they get snailed. She put little antennas on his fist, and I have never seen him at such a loss for words. And it was so funny, and it kind of turned into her shtick throughout the whole thing. So she's really making a mark.
That's a good moment. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. To have the commissioner be speechless is fabulous. And don't we all wish we could do that on a daily basis sometimes? So that's super. Oh my gosh. Go Ava. That's awesome. Well, and now for those of you that are listening and you want to be a part of all this excitement, we have this big sale coming up where you could come buy a reiner. And for those of you that are interested in maybe consigning your own horses and things, we're going to jump in here with our next guest and chat more about that. We are so excited to have our next guest on the show. Angie Honeywell is the director of Reining Suite and Futurity Sales for the National Reining Horse Association and has been on our team since 2018. She also graduated from Oklahoma State. This seems to be a theme today. She got a Bachelor's of Science in Animal Science. We're excited to have her on the show today to share some big news regarding our NRHA Markel Futurity sale. So, hi, Angie. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing great. We are so excited to have you on today. It is so incredibly timely. But before we jump into the sale, let's chat a little bit about you. So tell us about your horse journey that led you to working for us.
Well, I started, like a lot of people I'm sure that are listening to this call, as a kid showing pleasure horses and open shows, 4-H and AQHA. When I was 14, I fell in love with reining while watching it at an AQHA show. And so I talked my dad into buying me a reining horse. So it didn't take long after that. We got rid of the pleasure horse and went all in on reining. And my dad ended up buying one of his own as well. So we had a great time traveling to all of our regional NRHA shows together for about 30 years and created a lot of great memories. So the weekends I wasn't showing, I worked side jobs as a show secretary for American Ranch Horse Association shows just to help pay my reining habit bill. So in 2017, I had the opportunity to come work at NRHA Futurity as a show staff member. And then a few months later, NRHA called me and offered me a full-time position. So, living my dream of getting to work in the horse industry as a profession.
That's awesome, Angie. And now it's so cool that you first came as show staff and now you're managing our huge NRHA Markel Futurity sale. And this year you created a really exciting new initiative program for those horses sold in our sale. So can you tell our listeners a little bit about this?
I can. I'm really excited about our new incentive. So every weanling, yearling, and show horse up to 7 years of age that sells in the NRHA Markel Futurity sale will receive half off entry fees into the NRHA Derby and Futurity. So the NRHA sale is really our members' sale because our sale contributes significantly to our annual budget for NRHA operations and programs. Therefore, we wanted to do something to give back to those members that support us. And also by creating an incentive for the buyers, it ultimately benefits our consigners as well.
What a good idea. And the fact that it's new and that we're kind of launching it, I think it's fantastic. Very, very good idea. So sale grads have won almost 10 million now in the show pen since 2013. That's a lot if you add up the horses that have been sold at this particular sale. What makes a purchase from the NRHA sale so successful in your opinion?
In my opinion, we are the premier reining sale of the year. So the NRHA Markel Futurity sale, we attract consigners that have the industry's most sought-after bloodlines. So by purchasing one of those horses at a sale, the buyers automatically have a considerable advantage in the show pen. So you're starting out with horses that are bred and raised to do reining for a living. So it makes it much easier to train. So pairing these prospects with the huge crowd we have at the NRHA Futurity just creates winning combinations. We have sale grads that range from Futurity champions, such as 1030, who was the 2021 Level 4 Open Futurity champion, ridden by Casey Deary, to non-pro champions, such as Austin Running, who's had a huge success in non-pro aged events, as well as ancillary classes for about 7 years now and still going strong. So really, no matter what level you compete at, you can find your next horse at the NRHA Markel Futurity sale.
It's so exciting, and I can't wait to see what horses come in this year and what their journey is. I know all of us in the office love that little logo next to all of the results that say NRHA Markel grad. So, Angie, I know the consignment deadline is coming up on September 16th. Where can people go to learn more about consigning or participating in the sale?
It is, yes. The consignments are due a week from today, so we'll know more then about what we're going to have in the sale. But you can visit our website at nrha.com/sales, and there's an easy online consignment form, a link to it on that page. But there's also additional information there for consigners and buyers. So you can find everything you need at that website. The sale will be held on December 5th at the NRHA Futurity, and then we also offer online bidding for those that aren't able to attend in person.
I love that. And for those that are listening that are local to Oklahoma City, the sale itself is going to be on Thursday, December 5th. So make sure to stop by, even if you're not going to bid for a horse. The energy is electric in the air. There is so much going on. And then you can certainly partake with the rest of the vendors that are at our show and see the Futurity itself going on, and also the North American Affiliate Championships brought to you by Equine that we also spoke about earlier. So please do come. That's a really good day to come to Futurity if you were trying to decide which one. Well, Angie, thank you so much for being on the show today. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. Thank you so much.
Well, that was so fun getting to have Angie on to learn more about the sale. And I'd be remiss if I didn't also point out that at the beginning of the sale, we also have the NRHYA Stallion Breeding Auction, and it gives people that are at our sale a chance to bid on a breeding to some of NRHA's top stallions, and they receive sire and dam benefits, which include later entry deadlines, cheaper entry fees, and a host of other huge benefits. So it's a really exciting sale to be at, and I hope everyone will join us there.
And it's fun. I know a lot of the corporate partners that, of course, I manage donate to that. And just a big thank you and shout out to all of you. You know who you are for doing that. It is something that truly does help our youth programming. So that is wonderful. Well, I so appreciated the show today. I think there was definitely some creativity on promoting the equine industry that we got to chat about. And I really do hope that Snoop Dogg goes not only to OSU, but also to our Futurity. I think that would be super fun. Who knows what the future might hold. But for anyone who's listening, remember, you can find our monthly reining podcast on nrha.com/podcast and also on our Facebook page. So now for all of you, please go out and have the slide of your life.